Listen to me for a moment. Really listen, not scrolling, not multitasking. Just listen. That thing you're chasing, the money, the promotion, the house, the body, the respect, the status, whatever you think is finally going to make your life feel complete, it won't. Not the way you think it will. My name's William. I'm 77 years old, and I spent most of my life running after things that were never meant to fix what was broken inside me. Decades of chasing, decades of grinding, decades of believing I was just one achievement away from finally feeling okay. I kept telling myself the same lie. I'll be happy when I get the promotion. I'll be happy when I make more money. I'll be happy when I buy the house. I'll be happy when people finally respect me, and every time I reached a goal, the finish line moved. There was always another target, another level, another thing to chase. I grew up poor. Not starving poor, but poor enough to feel small in rooms. My father worked in a factory his whole life, came home tired every night, hands beat up, body worn down, and people still treated him like he didn't matter. I watched that as a kid, and I decided that's not going to be me. I'm going to be somebody. I'm going to matter. So I worked. Long hours, late nights, missed dinners, missed birthdays, missed my kids growing up. But I told myself it was worth it because I was building a future. By my 50s, I had it all. The office, the title, the respect, the authority. People called me sir. My name was on the door. And one night, I sat alone in that office looking out the window and thought, this is it. This is what I gave my life for. And I felt nothing. No joy, no peace, no fulfillment. Just empty. Like I spent my whole life climbing a mountain. And when I finally reached the top, there was nothing there. Just another mountain, another climb, another chase. And that's when I realized something. Maybe the problem wasn't that I hadn't achieved enough. Maybe the problem was that I was chasing the wrong thing. After that night in my office, things started to feel different. Not better, not worse, just heavy. Like I was carrying a life that didn't belong to me anymore. I'd come home to a house that looked perfect from the outside. Big rooms, clean walls, quiet halls. But it didn't feel like a home. It felt empty. My wife and I barely talked. Not because we were angry, but because we were strangers. We had grown in different directions, lived different lives, shared the same roof but not the same world. My kids were grown. They were polite, respectful, distant. They knew me as a provider, a protector, a worker, not as a father. I wasn't there for the small moments, the late night talks, the fears, the questions, the laughter. I was always busy building something, and one day my daughter looked at me and said, "You were always there, but you were never really present." That sentence hit harder than any failure ever could. Because it was true. I had given them a good life. But I hadn't given them me. I had built success, but I had lost connection. I had earned respect, but I had lost closeness. And for the first time in my life, I asked myself a real question. What's the point of winning the world if you lose the people in it? What's the point of building a legacy if no one feels close to you? What's the point of success if you're alone inside it? I started realizing something painful. I didn't know who I was without my job, without my title, without my achievements. They weren't just things I had. They were my identity. And without them, I felt empty, lost, small. That's when I understood I hadn't been building a life. I had been building a mask, a version of myself the world would respect, but not a version that was real, not a version that was whole, not a version that was free. And for the first time in decades, I felt tired of pretending. Change didn't happen overnight. There was no big moment, no dramatic turning point, no movie scene, just small decisions, quiet shifts, slow healing. I started sitting more, talking less, listening more. I started choosing presence over pressure, peace over performance, people over pride. I didn't quit my life, I changed how I lived it. I learned how to be still, how to be alone without feeling lonely, how to exist without needing to prove something. I started showing up, not as a provider, not as a title, not as a role, just as a man, a father, a husband, a human being. And something changed. Conversations got warmer. Silence felt safer. Home started feeling like home again, not because the house changed, but because I did. And the biggest lesson I learned was this: you don't need to become more to be enough. You don't need more success to deserve peace. You don't need more money to deserve rest. You don't need more status to deserve love. You were always worthy. You were always enough. You just forgot. Life isn't about winning. It's not about proving. It's not about climbing forever. It's about connection. It's about presence. It's about meaning. It's about being here, fully. Because one day, the titles disappear, the roles fade, the noise stops, and all that's left is who you were, to the people who mattered. So if you're listening to this right now, slow down, breathe, look around. This moment, this life, these people, this time, this is the real success. Not the chase, not the grind, not the image, but the peace you feel when you finally stop running and choose to live.